Modeler. So today we're going to have a bit of an inbox review of an M2A1 half track here, the 2-in-1 kit. It's a smart kit from Dragon. I've had this one for a while. It's one of the ones I'm looking at offloading at the moment, so hence I'm going to do a review on this before I offload it. Just so if you guys come across one in the market and you're wondering what's in the box, it's all in here. And please forgive my squeaky chair, guys. I've got to try and do something to stop it squeaking in these videos for you. But we will have a go at this box. We'll look inside, see what's in there. Like I say, I'm getting rid of this, so you'll see whether it's worth picking up if you ever see one around. I did have all intentions of building this. I do love the half tracks, but with all the new stuff coming out, it's one of the kits I want to unload so I can afford some of the newer stuff to build for you guys. But anyway, guys, as you see, box art's quite nice. It's typical Dragon box art. It's quite nice. On the side here, we have some colour call outs there for you. And so you've got like your 4 different versions there. If I was going to build this one, I dare say I'd go for this guy here. I love that camo with the light green and dark green on there, or maybe the winter one there, the winter wash version there. As you see, there's a bit of photo etching here. There's your decal sheet call out. On the other side of the box, we've got all the little fine details that Dragon are saying that they've added into this kit. And so you expect all these sort of things in these Dragon kits. You know there's going to be stuff full of goodies. The thing I love about these kits is on the back here. It shows you different bits of the build-up, bits of photo etch, stuff like that. Lovely stuff. So you know you're going to be in for a treat when you open one of these boxes. So without further ado, that's what we'll do. We'll take the lid off and we'll start having a look in here. Now I have seen Dragon kits, and you guys probably know this too if you've built Dragon kits, that are stacked right to the brim. This one's not quite there, but it's still got quite a bit in it. So anyway, first up we'll have a look at our instructions. I'll just wind the camera back out, guys, so you can see a bit more in the instructions. Okay, so there's all your sprue call outs there on that page, and as you see you've got quite a few sprues there, a bit of photo etch and stuff going on. First part of our instructions, we're looking at doing our engine block, doing our diffs for our running wheels and things like that for on those. Then we've got all the rear running wheels assemblies going together up in here in a few different stages. And as you can see just by looking at the instructions, guys, they are fairly detailed, these kits. They've got quite a bit of work to get these parts together. They're not just a snap together overnight type of thing. They really are like very, very good kits and very, very detailed. So expect that when you build one of these. You've got your springs going onto the side of the chassis down here, up here. Then you've got all your road wheels, running gear going onto the chassis, your engine block going in, your radiator and the housing going on there, diffs going in. Then you've got your tracks getting mounted on there as well. Now again, this is something, guys, where if you're building this kit, it's probably up to you if you want to use the tracks now, or whether you keep them off and paint them separate then put them on. That's totally up to you. It's one of the things, sometimes I paint them on the vehicle, sometimes I paint them off. I'll just look at the build and how hard it's going to be to paint them on the vehicle before I make the decision. Then we have over here front wheels going on, a few little bits of detail going into the cockpit up here. As you see, all your little gear sticks and stuff are all going in there. Quite a bit of detail in that, so, and very delicate little parts in those. I know I've actually built one of these, so very delicate little parts. Machine gun, it goes together in quite a few pieces again, as you can see. Like I say, they're a fairly complex build, guys. They're not a quick build at all. But you'll see when you build them just how much beautiful detail's in there and why they do that. Sometimes I know Dragon kits are over-engineered, that there's too many parts to put together other pieces where they could be moulded in one block, but this one's, I don't think it's at that stage. There's probably a few bits that could have been moulded in single pieces, but it's still not too bad. Jerry can goes together, 4 pieces to put her together there. Your cabs going on, your doors going on. You've got your tools going on the outside. Again, the tools are something you can paint separate, put on after. Windscreen going onto the cab, more tools, toolboxes, things like that all going on. Same with down the back here, in the back, all the stuff going into the back, your seats and so on. Then you've got it all coming together in that last step up there where all that stuff just gets tied in together. One of the things is these slats on the grill at the front here. You'll have open and closed, like whichever way you want to set those. Just be aware if you're going to have them open, they are fairly delicate, and once you start moving them around they can snap off fairly easy because they're photo etch parts, so be careful with that, guys. And that's pretty much the build up. Got the winch going on as the last step there. And then we go on to our paintings and marking call-outs here, and that's the first one. That's the one I probably would have went with if I had built this one. Then you've got the one with the stars and stripes on the side. Then we've got another 3 versions on the back here. So you've got definitely a good choice of versions that you can build with this thing. So another good one from Dragon as far as that goes. Our first pretty little packet here. This has got our photo etch, the finer running gear parts, our clear parts, our decals going in there, our decals, and then we've got our tow rope. The tow rope in this obviously goes together with a little bit of the string they put in here, and then you'll have the tow rope ends will be glued onto that, super glued onto that. They throw a little bit of chain here. I do have a bit of chain that I keep aside. If I don't use it, I always try and keep chain and bits of rope and rubber tubing and stuff like that. It's always handy to keep in your spares box for doing up extra things when you go through your builds. Now looking at the photo etch, it's very, very fine. I have built these before. You've even got the covers over your headlights there. Very, very fine stuff, and really, really nice when they're done up properly. So if you're not used to working with photo etch, this is not a bad kit to start with because there's not a lot on there. It's only a little bit, and it's not too hard to fold up. It's quite nice to work with. The first packet here, we've got our guards. And like I say, I'm selling this one, guys, so I don't really want to open the packets up. I want people to sort of see it as new. And inside here, all the bolt heads and everything around there are really nice. All the panel lining and stuff that's in there is just beautiful. It's really, really nice to detail. You'll see there's a funny looking shape going around there. It's where your guard actually runs around there. Your wheel guards will run around there. Our gauges inside here, they're all moulded into the plastic. I will sort of zoom you in a little bit, guys, so you get a little bit better look what's going on in these bags. As you see, all very nice stuff. One of the things you have to be careful about is, like say the steering wheel here, it's attached there right on the outside. It's a real pain to cut that off without damaging the wheel. Just take it easy, cut it away from the wheel and then trim it back. And then you've got little lugs all over it. You've got, 4 lugs on there you've got to take out as well and clean up. All these little parts are very fine. Snip them off very, very carefully because they can break. They are very, very fine. But there's just little things like that you have to be aware of in these kits, guys, that some of that delicate stuff that's in there. Now, as you can see in the back here, the seats have actually got that, what would you call it, like a lounge chair type sort of wave to it. Like you can see that it's actually not just a piece of metal, they are actually seats, like comfortable cushion padded seats, and they've got that effect going on there. So use a little bit of leather colour or whatever it was you want to do, a bit of wash and stuff like that. They'll come up really, really nice, guys. It's great that when you see kits that have that sort of thing, beautiful stuff. And the backrest are the same there, as you can see on the side. Again, just looking at the small parts, there's no flash. All the injector pin marks I can see will all be on the sides where you're not going to see them. Again, the detail in here, the little rivet heads and things like that, the engraving down here, all the hinge work, really, really super fine and beautiful looking stuff. I mean, just looking at this makes me want to build it now. Like I say, I have built these and they are gorgeous, and just looking at it again, I really want to do one. Your spare running wheel housing there, the checker plate detail moulded in there is just gorgeous, really nice stuff. And all the sides, again, they're the same. All that panel line's gorgeous. All the bolt heads are there, riveting stuff's all there. A few more seats with padding I can see there. Antenna base, really nice stuff. Big toolboxes are done in like one big giant section. They're not actually put together in 4 or 5 pieces like some of them are. And that's why I say these kits aren't over-engineered, where some of the Dragons one, they'll have you put that together, then put the hinges on separate and all that sort of thing. This one you don't. They're done in one section, which is really nice. Okay, next here we have little bits of odds and ends, parts of the chassis there I can see going on, the front bumper and so on, exhaust, steering columns, bits like that, and they're all, again, just got beautiful detail in them. Hopefully you'll be able to sort of, if you can play this in high def, guys, I recommend it so you can see the lovely detail that's in these parts. Very, very nice. But a lot of the Dragon stuff is like this, where you see so many of these little bits that have to be cut off and cleaned up, but you know, it's part of the fun of being a modeler, I guess, having to do those little bits and pieces. I mean, I sometimes find it tedious with these kits. I'll get to a point I'm just sick of cutting the lugs off and cleaning bits up, but you know, it's all part and parcel. It's what you expect. Okay, so there's our exhaust. Sorry guys, that was a steering column on that last sprue that I was talking about. Again, there's really nice, but I can see a seam line running right up the side of that on both sides. Will have to be cleaned up, but you expect that there will always be a seam line on these parts. It's not too bad. Engine block here. Now, I know the engines in these are sufficient, like you can have the hood raised up and you can look in there and you'll be able to see the engine block, and that's fine. But don't expect a super detailed engine. Okay, they're fairly basic, but they're good enough to open up and show. As you can see, that all these parts that are in it, they are quite nice to open up and have a look at. But you know, don't expect like a Tamiya super detailed engine or anything like that. They're definitely not that. All the diffs, again, just beautiful detail in these guys. I'm really hoping that you can play these things in high def and have a look at the detail that's in these. Really nice. The springs, they're always there's always a seam line runs up right up around the top there. It has to be cleaned up. There's a lug in the middle of these ones, has to be taken out, and all the ones underneath as well where they're joined there. There's our chassis. Again, this is where I say this is not over engineered. This is a one-piece chassis, which is absolutely great. I love the idea of that. All your sump and everything is down on the bottom there. It's already part of it. Whereas some of their other kits, you would have to probably put all that together. I know some Italy ones and things like that, you do have to put all the chassis and that together and end up with something that doesn't sit square on the table. These, you know, that's not going to happen. That's one of the things I love about this kit. It's not overly engineered, but it's engineered enough to make it a really, really nice kit to build. So that's about it for that sprue. Okay, now here's all the gear that goes in the back. Now this is something that you truly have to see to appreciate, guys. It's just beautiful detail in this. The ammo boxes, the guns, the radio equipment, everything is just absolutely beautifully detailed in here. Really, really nice stuff. Like I say, if you can get high def, turn it up, guys, and have a look at this. I'll hold this up a little bit closer. Hopefully the camera shall focus for us, and it has. So as you can see, guys, beautiful, beautiful detail in that. Okay, really, really nice stuff. It's one of the things I love about some of these Dragon kits. The detail that's in the plastic is just absolutely, really, just over the top nice. Now here's our grills that I was talking about before. Now this is where you have, they're moulded into the plastic like that. So you've got two of them that are actually closed vented. So you can use those, or you can have these open ones, and you can use the photo etch parts and then open the grills up, or have closed grills in photo etch and put the inserts in there. Be careful, like I say, once you start moving those vents around, they're easier to break off. The other thing is, you'll find that the big star goes over that area. The star on the front will go over that. So if you're using the photo etch part, that's going to be a bit of an issue for you later on if you have those opened up. There's ways around that, you know, putting it on, then, you know, like having them posed shut, and then opening them up after, cut through the decal, the paint, open them up, and you know, there is ways around doing that. But yeah, just be aware of that, guys. If you're going to go that route, you'll put them on there, open them up, then when you paint it and you get to the decals, you realise, oh, I've got to put a star on there. That's not going to be easy. So just be aware of that when you do a build on one of these guys. Here's our tracks, one-piece tracks. People think that's a bit disappointing, but honestly there's not really any sag in these vehicles, so you don't need to have the individual tracks to sag them. Now one piece plastic like this, you can actually sag that track if you like. Just soften it a little bit with a little bit of heat, don't go overboard, you don't want to distort it, and just sort of bend it down just a little bit so you can have that little bit of sag between the running gear. If you want to do that, do it that way, it can be done. But they're quite sufficient for what they are, guys. The wheels, hopefully, again, I'll hold this up to the camera so you can pick up the beautiful detail that's in those wheels, guys. Really, really nice stuff, as you can see. Very, very pretty. I keep saying I know, but they're just beautifully detailed. They put in these kits. It's one of the things I really appreciate about these Dragon kits. And down here, we've got some really little fine pieces. Cutting those off there, you have to be very super careful, because you can see how fine that is. The attachment point's twice the size of the actual part itself, so cutting them off's got to be something you do very delicately with a knife, just shave it away. Same with our little grab handles here, very delicate work, but take your time, don't rush it, and you'll get those off there. And there's another 4 I can see up on the top part here as well. all the jerry can parts going on there. We've got headlights, and that's pretty much it, guys. But as you can see, very, very nice kits, guys. So honestly, if you can pick these up and you haven't got one before, do yourself a favour, because they really, really are nice kits. They're just super nice kits to do. So anyway, guys, like always, check all my links out down below. I will try and put some links to eBay, Amazon, stuff like that, like I normally do for you guys. I'll have my Patreon down there, Facebook, and so on. I'm not sure I've had my website down there yet, but just keep checking my videos. I'm working on a website at the moment. It's going to take me a bit of time to get it up and running, because I've never actually developed a website, and it's something else I'm trying to learn at the moment to get that up and running as well. But yeah, there's a like button down there, guys. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up for me. If you haven't subbed to the channel, there's also a big sub button down there. Give that a whack for me as well. And like always, guys, I really appreciate you watching these videos. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.